The possession at St. Michael's Hospital. I've worked at St. Michael's Hospital for what feels like an eternity. The creaking floors, the antiseptic smell, the endless beeping of machines. It's all so familiar, but in all my years, nothing's ever happened. No ghostly apparitions, no unexplained noises, not even a hint of the paranormal. It's always been normal. That was before the boy arrived. He came in on a stretcher, his small body battered and bruised. Strange symbols, like nothing I've seen before, were carved into his arms and chest. The doctors and nurses moved with a practiced urgency, but I could sense the confusion, the fear lurking beneath their professional exteriors. The boy's eyes were wide with a terror that made my blood run cold. He murmured something about it coming, about not being able to stop it. The words sent a shiver down my spine, but I pushed the feeling aside. I've seen too much to let the ramblings of a traumatized child get to me. But as the days passed, the boy's condition only grew more dire. The symbols on his body seemed to shift, to pulse with a malevolent life of their own. And then, one awful night, he was gone. At first, it was just a feeling, a prickle on the back of my neck, a sense of being watched. I tried to shake it off as paranoia, but it only grew stronger. Footsteps echoed down empty hallways. Doors creaked open and shut of their own accord. And then, the knocking started. At first, it was faint, a gentle tap, tap, tap that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. It grew louder, more insistent, until it felt like my head might vibrate apart. I tried to convince myself it was just the old building settling, but deep down, I knew better. Things escalated. Equipment went missing, only to reappear in odd places. Chairs skidded across floors as if pushed by an unseen hand. And then, there was Mark. Mark's always been a steady presence on the ward. A big, calm man with a quick smile. But the day I saw him in the supply closet, something was wrong. His eyes, usually a bright blue, had gone dull and black as coal. His skin was ashy and tight over his bones, and his voice when he spoke was not his own. "It's been a long time," he rasped, his words like fingernails on a chalkboard. "I've been waiting." A chill swept over me. I tried to run, but my feet felt rooted to the spot. No, not Mark's, but the thing wearing his skins, gaze crawled over me. I could feel a presence behind him, a looming shadow that made my skin crawl. "It's been so long," the thing rasped again, its voice growing stronger. "But now I'm here, and I'm hungry." Suddenly I could move. I sprinted from the closet, not stopping until I was back in the safety of the nurses' station. My heart was a jackrabbit in my chest, and my breath came in ragged gasps. But even as I tried to calm myself, I knew this was only the beginning. The hospital, my safe haven for so many years, had become a house of horrors. And I was trapped in the middle of it. I've tried to warn the others, but they just think I'm stressed, that the strain of the boy's death has gotten to me. But I know what I saw, and I know it's not finished with us yet. The knocking's grown louder, the vibrations of it humming through the floor beneath my feet. The air is thick with an electric tension, like the moment before a storm breaks. And I can feel it, the presence, growing stronger, its attention turning to us, like a snake focusing on its prey. I'm sitting here in the nurses' station, surrounded by the quiet beeping of machines. But the silence feels like a lie, a thin veneer stretched over a well of chaos. And I know that at any moment, that veneer will shatter. The boy brought something with him, something ancient and evil. And now it's been unleashed on my hospital, on my home. I'm so scared, but I'm a nurse, and this is my place. So I'll stay, and I'll fight, and I'll pray to whatever might be listening that we make it through the night. Because when dawn breaks, maybe, just maybe, this horror will end. Maybe the thing will retreat, forced back into whatever hellhole it crawled from. Maybe my hospital, my safe haven, will be mine again. But until then, I'm trapped in this never-ending nightmare. And all I can do is sit and wait and pray that when the dawn finally breaks, I'll still be alive to see it. The minutes tick by like hours, each one stretching out into an eternity. My eyes are fixed on the clock. Its slow tick-tock, the only sound in the oppressive silence. I can feel my heart beating in my chest, each thud a countdown to what? I don't know. The knocking's grown louder, the vibrations of it making the floor hum beneath my feet. It's a steady beat now, like the drumming of fingers on a desk, impatient, angry. And I know that it's only a matter of time before what, I don't know. Before it finds a way out, before it loses what's left of its patience, before it... A scream pierces the air, making me jump in my seat. It's one of the other nurses, her voice high and terrified. I'm on my feet and running before I even realize it, my heart pounding in my chest. When I get to the ward, it's a scene from a nightmare. Equipment is scattered everywhere, machines overturned and beeping wildly, and, in the middle of it all, Mark. Or not Mark. The thing wearing his skin is twisted, his face elongated into a snout, his eyes glow with an otherworldly red light, and his jaws are open, revealing rows and rows of razor-sharp teeth. He's frozen, his attention fixed on something, and it's only as I follow his gaze that I see her. The nurse who screamed. She's backed into a corner, her eyes wide and her face as white as a sheet. And the thing, the demon, it's closer, its attention fixed on her like a predator on its prey. I try to move, to run to her aid, but my feet feel heavy, as if rooted to the spot. I try to scream, to shout for help, but my voice is frozen in my throat. All I can do is stand and watch and pray that somehow, some way, this will end. The demon takes a step closer, its gaze fixed on the cowering nurse. Its jaws are open, revealing those awful teeth, and I can see its tongue, long and pointed, flicking in and out of its mouth. It's savoring this, enjoying the fear that rolls off her in waves. And then, it strikes. It's a blur of motion, the demon moving with a speed that shouldn't be possible. It's on her, its jaws wide open, and then she's screaming. The sound is high and terrified, and it cuts off abruptly as the demon's teeth sink into her throat. I'm standing, frozen, as the demon feeds. Its jaws are working, tearing at her flesh, and I can see her eyes, wide and shocked, fixed on me. As if I could have done something, as if I could have saved her. But I didn't. I stood, and I watched. And now she's gone. The demon finishes, its jaws lifting from her throat. Its face is smeared with blood, and its eyes glow with an evil satisfaction. It looks up, its gaze meeting mine, and I can see the knowledge in its eyes. The knowledge that I'm next. It takes a step closer, its attention fixed on me. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, and my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I try to run, to move, but my feet feel heavy, as if rooted to the spot. The demon takes another step closer, and another, and then it's almost on me. I finally came to my senses. I found the courage to run, as if my life depended on it. I had narrowly escaped, but it was far from over. I realize I'm alone. The ward is empty, the bed's abandoned. And I know that I have to get out of here. I fell to the floor, my legs feel like jelly, refusing to support my weight. I try to crawl, but my arms tremble beneath me, threatening to collapse at any moment. I'm weak, and I'm scared, and I'm so alone. But I know I can't stay. I have to keep moving, no matter how much I want to just curl up and wait for the end. I have to find help, have to find some way to stop the demon before it's too late. So I start to crawl, It's slow going, the tile floor cold and unforgiving beneath my hands and knees, but I keep moving, keep dragging myself forward, no matter how much I want to just give up. I'm not sure how long it takes, but finally, I see it. The door. My way out. I summon every last bit of strength, and I reach out, and I pull myself through. I'm in a hallway, the walls stretching out on either side of me. It's empty, the only sound the echo of my own ragged breathing. I try to stand, but my legs refuse to cooperate, forcing me to crawl. I'm not sure where I'm going. I just know I have to keep moving, have to find some way out of this place. So I keep crawling, keep dragging myself forward, no matter how much I want to just give up. As I round a corner, I see it. The entrance, the way out. I summon every last bit of strength, and I start to crawl faster, my heart pounding in my chest. I'm almost there. I can see the doors, can see the light of the outside world spilling in. I'm almost safe, almost at the safety of the outside world. And then, I heard it. The undeniable sound of various metallic objects scattering across the floor behind me. I look back and my heart dies. The demon is behind me, its eyes glowing with an evil light. Its face is twisted into a snout, its jaws open wide, revealing those razor-sharp teeth. A cold shiver runs down my spine, freezing me in place. I can feel the chill of its presence, a suffocating aura that clings to my skin like a veil of ice. The air is thick with the smell of sulfur and decay, a nauseating stench that turns my stomach. I force myself to turn away to keep moving towards the door. The door, once so close, now seems to stretch further away with every stride, a cruel trick of my mind. Behind me, the demon's guttural growl echoes through the corridor, a sound that resonates deep within my bones. I can sense its hunger, its insatiable desire to claim me, to drag me into the depths of darkness from which it came. The hallway stretches on, the walls closing in, suffocating me with their oppressive weight. Shadows dance across the cracked and peeling wallpaper, twisting into grotesque shapes that seem to mock my fear. The light from the outside world flickers, a distant beacon of hope that seems all too dim. I push forward, driven by a primal instinct to survive, to escape this nightmare that has ensnared me. My breath comes in ragged gasps, my heart pounding in my chest like a frantic drumbeat. I can feel the demon's breath on my neck, a hot and fetid wind that sends tremors of terror through my entire being. The door looms ahead, just out of reach. I stretch out my hand, fingers grazing the worn wood, feeling the splinters catch at my skin. But before I can grasp the handle, a deafening crash erupts behind me. The sound of the demon's claws tearing through the very fabric of reality. I stumble forward, my body propelled by sheer desperation. The door swings open, flooding the corridor with blinding light. I fall through, collapsing onto the cold, hard ground of the outside world. The light engulfs me, warm and comforting, a stark contrast to the chilling darkness that lurks behind. I dare not look back, dare not see if the demon has followed me into the safety of daylight. I lie there gasping for air, heart still racing in my chest. The world around me is silent, save for the distant chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze. I notice the distant sound of sirens, growing stronger by each passing second. Everything fell into darkness as the authorities arrived at the hospital. I woke up in one of the hospital's beds 2 days later, realizing I was alive. I can hear the sound of the soft beeping of machines, nurses and doctors scurrying to attending injured people. The nightmare had ended. The chaos that had erupted in the hospital was unlike anything I had ever experienced. It was as if the very walls of the building had come alive, breathing and whispering secrets I was never meant to hear. Each creak of the floorboards beneath my feet sent shivers cascading down my spine, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched by unseen eyes. After Mark's possession, the entire staff was on edge. We tried to carry on with our duties, but the eerie atmosphere made it impossible to focus. Equipment malfunctioned inexplicably, lights flickered incessantly, and shadows danced mockingly along the corridors. The once sterile and cold environment of the hospital had transformed into a labyrinth of terror. I found myself drawn to the room where the young boy had spent his final hours. The air was thick with a heavy, oppressive silence, broken only by the occasional distant clanging of metal or the soft, hushed murmurs that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. I hesitated at the threshold, my heart pounding in my chest as I stepped inside. The room was as I remembered it, yet something felt different, darker, more sinister. The strange markings that had covered the boy's body lingered in my mind, an enigma I couldn't unravel. As I stood there, a cold breeze brushed past me, carrying with it an almost imperceptible whisper, like a breath on the back of my neck. It was a voice, faint and distant, calling out my name. Panic surged through me and I stumbled backward, my eyes wide with fear. The room seemed to pulse with a life of its own, the shadows deepening, stretching toward me with greedy tendrils. I tried to flee, but my legs refused to obey, rooted to the spot by some unseen force. In that moment, I realized the boy's spirit was not at rest. He was trapped, ensnared by the malevolent presence that had claimed Mark. Desperation clawed at my throat as I fought against the invisible grip holding me captive. I knew I had to break the cycle to free the boy and save Mark from the clutches of the demon. Summoning every ounce of courage, I spoke aloud, my voice trembling yet resolute. I called upon the boy, pleading with him to find peace, to let go of the darkness that bound him. The room erupted in a cacophony of sound, a furious rush of wind, doors slamming, and a guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the earth. I closed my eyes, bracing myself against the onslaught, my heart pounding in anticipation of whatever fate awaited me. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the chaos ceased. An eerie calm settled over the room, the air no longer heavy with malice. I opened my eyes, half expecting to be met with some new horror, but the room was still, the shadows receding to their rightful places. A sense of profound relief washed over me. I knew somehow that the boy was free, his spirit finally at rest. Mark recovered slowly, his memories of the possession fading like a half-remembered nightmare. The hospital too returned to its former self, the disturbances ceasing as if they had never been. I know I am safe now, but deep down, I can still feel the demon's eyes watching me, waiting for the shadows to fall once more.